DCP Player free. Get it now from digital.net.au.
So, Steve, why won't you upgrade?
So, exactly as you stated, it's always a scary thing when you have a 365-day-a-year operation, and you have revenue that whenever you go to stop down, you literally only have from 11 p.m. to roughly 11 a.m. to complete any upgrades before you're selling tickets and opening your doors to customers the next day. So, and it actually is more complicated even than what you had stipulated, because it's a lot of times not just an upgrade of one thing. It's an upgrade of all of the playback systems, potentially something with the projector or other pieces of equipment that are in the pipeline. And so a lot of times you don't know the ramifications of making an upgrade on one version of hardware if you've got different playback systems in your environment, which we do. So you have a chain reaction of ramifications. You upgrade your newest playback system and suddenly it won't talk to the older one, or vice versa. And so those types of complications and the difficulty in sort of moving that forward makes it always a scary proposition to upgrade, especially because in exhibition, you know, you guys are delivering the masters, but on the playback side, we just want to play the movie and sell tickets and have happy customers seeing the movie. And there's really not a huge roundabout of benefit on the exhibitor side to say, why should we do this upgrade? Well, what do we get out of it? And it's not always clear as to what that is.
We're still getting movies. And I would imagine that unlike larger groups that have the wherewithal to be able to have a test setup and be able to deploy on that, your theaters are your test setup for these kinds of deployments.
That's exactly right. And we don't have a standalone system to try things on or a test environment to sort of roll it out. It's like we start an upgrade and cross our fingers and hope it works. And sometimes we'll set aside, we'll mark shows out to do an upgrade, but again, that costs even more money than just doing the upgrade. So it's always a trade-off of what we think we can accomplish. And for us, it's always, how long has it been since we've done an upgrade? The longer it's been, the more problematic we know it potentially is going to be.
And I would like to open up to questions from the audience early on. So if something occurs to you that you'd like to interject in the conversation, please feel free to join in early. We don't have to wait till the end for Q&A. So, Martin.
I'd just like to say a common practice that we've found in Australia, especially with the smaller operators, is if they've got, because they've only got one theatre and they may have 4 screens, they'll probably only want to upgrade one screen first and just see how it goes for a month. So first they've got to find the right time of year, not Christmas, not Easter, not this holiday break. Then they need 4 weeks for it to settle in, and then they're prepared to do the other 3 if it all works out perfectly, which it doesn't always do that. But then we've also got a customer who's in outback Australia in a mining location. It's a 2-day trip out, it's a 2-day trip back. So it's like they've got to cover a week's worth of a technician's time to go out and do the test, and another week's worth of technician's time to do the upgrade. And it ain't broken, so they don't want to fix it.
Yeah. Now, an operation like that seems unable to resolve problems quickly by FedEx time would seem to really need to have some kind of spares or other spare capability on hand in order to be able to survive.
That particular location does actually have a server on hand because of years of servicing them. We've convinced them to have a server, but they can't really afford to have a whole projector and a whole. I mean, they're just one small little fourplex theatre in the middle of the outback, so they're break even at best. So they can't afford to carry those spares.
Yeah.
And I would just add to that, we're located in Portland, where we're lucky to have a local integrator that does nationally supported American cinema. So they're just a drive down the road for us, but a lot of theaters in a lot of parts of the country, that support is hours, if not a day or two down the road. And I can tell you, when a screen goes down and you're losing thousands of dollars in ticket revenue and thousands of dollars in concession revenue, and then you have a distributor screaming at you that you're supposed to open their title and it's not on screen and they're losing the revenue, it's always a very sort of pace-quickening weekend for you.
Yeah, I can imagine.